Hello everybody, welcome to the third episode of CharreBrain's Weekly Thoughts. In this episode I want to look at Borderlands 2's weapon and item system. Borderlands 2 is a first-person shooter with role-playing elements mixed in. It has a randomly generated loot system and it has around 100 million weapons plus other items. And in this episode I want to look at how the system scales and how it is balanced. Since I cannot look at every possible combination, I will have to pick out one example. The example will be a Maliwan sniper rifle with a Maliwan barrel and a grip, and if possible, a damage accessory. Now let's first look at how it scales with level. This is a blue Rarity gun with the before mentioned parts, and it is from level 43 to level 47. As you can clearly see on those weapon cards, the accuracy, the fire rate, the reload speed, the magazine size, and the chance to ignite does not change with level at all. In fact, I can tell you, if you manage to find such a sniper rifle at level 1, it will still has the same stats on its weapon cards. The only thing that changes is the per shot damage and the damage over time effect. Now, this is the damage of the same gun plotted against the gun level, from level 1 to level 50. As I've already showed you, at level 45 it does pretty much exactly 10,000 damage. As you can see, the damage scales exponentially with the level of the gun. Now this is a big change from Borderlands 1. I'm not 100% sure, but in Borderlands 1, the damage scaled linearly with gun level. In any case, it didn't scale exponentially with gun level. For the mathematicians of you, I have a more convincing proof that it is indeed an exponential increase. Here I've plotted the damage against the gun level in a semi-logarithmic plot. If the graph before was a parabola, this graph would also be curved. But it is indeed a straight line, so this is a more convincing proof that it is indeed exponential. Now, it has one strong and weak point. That is, you cannot keep one gun for something like 8 or 10 levels. You are forced to constantly find new weapons because the old ones are quickly outdamaged and outleveled by the new guns. Some of you might remember the developer red chest in Borderlands 1, where to access it you must go beyond the boundary of a level and go under a ledge. This special red chest will give you extremely high quality weapons in playthrough 1. You can usually use those weapons from this chest for something like 6 or 8 levels before they are outdamaged by normal loot. Now this is not possible anymore with the exponential scaling in Borderlands 2. Now let's take a look how weapons scale with the rarity. Strictly speaking, the rarity is also a gun part. It is the body plus the material of the gun, but for the sake of simplicity, I will split it in two parts. The rarity and the actual gun parts, meaning the barrel, the grip, and then the accessory and everything else. Here, the three weapon cards in the middle are the most important. On the far left, we have a white rarity, a sniper rifle. By definition, white rarity guns cannot have an accessory. That's why the damage of this gun looks so mediocre. On the far right, we have a volcano, a legendary sniper rifle. The damage may seem inferior to the purple rarity gun and even the blue rarity gun, but you have to keep the special effect of the volcano in mind. The volcano has a very large area of effect. It applies the burn damage to a very large area, so if you shoot with a volcano in a tightly packed group of enemies, all enemies will get burned, so that offsets the low damage a bit. So if you compare the pure change of one step of rarity to one step of level, they seem very similar. Keep in mind that those sniper rifles have exactly the same gun parts otherwise. On the left, we have a green Rarity level 45 sniper rifle versus a blue Rarity level 44 sniper rifle. The damage of the blue Rarity sniper rifle is a bit higher, but the damage over time effect is a bit lower. On the right, we have a purple Rarity sniper rifle at level 45 and a blue Rarity sniper rifle at level 46. The damage is pretty much the same. 10 damage at level 45 is pretty much nothing. And although the blue Rarity gun has a slightly higher burn damage per second, the purple Rarity sniper rifle has slightly higher accuracy. So they are still comparable. So finally, let's take a look how guns scale with actual gun parts. On the right, it is still the same blue Rarity level 45 Mali 1 sniper rifle with Mali 1 barrel and grip and damage accessory. On the top left, we have a Mali 1 sniper rifle, but this time with dual barrel and grip and no accessory. I'm very surprised by the strong difference between those two blue Rarity guns. I mean, both are level 45 and both are blue Rarity. But one is simply much worse than another. In fact, if we would compare a perfect level 45 white Rarity sniper rifle with the worst example of blue Rarity sniper rifle at the same level, they seem really comparable, and that surprises me. That is almost a 2-level worth of difference at the same level requirement and at the same rarity. So for all weapons apart from rocket launchers, the per shot damage scales with level, rarity and gun parts. The accuracy and magazine size of the gun scales with rarity and gun parts. Damage over time effect scales with level and gun parts. Fire rate, reload speed, and chance for the elemental effect to proc only scales with gun parts, nothing else. So I would say the gun scales strongly with levels as expected. Also, it scales as expected with rarity. And for me, it scales surprisingly strong with gun parts. Now, weapons are the most common items in Borderlands 2. Let's look at something that are much less common than weapons. For example, a relic, how they scale with rarity and level. A relic has 16 different quality levels. That means each rarity has 4 different quality levels. For example, a level 45 vitality relic. A white one goes from 18 to 24%. A green one goes from 26 to 32%. A blue one goes from 34 to 40%. And a purple one goes from 42 to 48%. So as you can see, I've picked perfect white, green, blue and purple relics. And if you compare the scaling with rarity with the scaling with level, you can see it scales extremely strongly with rarity and it almost doesn't scale with level. I mean, 2% in 5 levels, that's pretty much nothing. Also, one thing I want to note is there's some strange pricing going on here. If you compare the white relic at level 45 with a level 30 vitality relic, although the white relic is more expensive, the purple relic at level 30 gives you much more bonus to max health. Relics are, compared to weapons, extremely rare, and therefore relics are kept and used much longer than guns. And I guess that the strong scaling with quality and rarity is one solution to the low drop chance of a relic. You simply use a relic much longer. So if you happen to find a very high quality relic at level, for example, 30, you're gonna keep it for a very long time. And it doesn't matter because you are intended to keep it for a very long time. So now that we have looked at how the system is there an issue with the current system? Is Borderlands 2's looting and item system less fun than, for example, compared to Borderlands 1? Surprisingly, there has been a divided opinion about this, and a small minority dislike the new system. Most of those in the small minority have played original Borderlands 1. Do they have valid reasons, and why do they dislike the new system? I will try to find out. Here I'll have to speculate about the reasons. Please note that I do not necessarily share those opinions. I simply try to find reasons why they possibly don't like the new system. Now the first thing is the exponential damage and health scaling. That means lucky finds in Borderlands 2 do not mean a whole lot. For example, if you find a legendary gun at level, I don't know, 15 or 20, in Borderlands 1, that is very big. It might very well carry you through 6 or 8 levels. In Borderlands 2, this cannot happen because of the exponential damage scaling. Even legendary guns will quickly get outdamaged by higher level guns. And that also means that you will change your equipment more frequently. You will have less attachment to each piece of equipment. That might be a psychological point why they don't like it. Also, the less perceived variety. And to be honest, there are indeed less manufacturer per gun type. For example, I would really like a Torque sniper rifle, but Torque does not produce a sniper rifle in Borderlands 2. Also, some people complain about less perceived power of guns. They think that guns in Borderlands 2 are less powerful compared to Borderlands 1. Now, one reason why they might think that is that some guns have less useful special effects. For example, Hyperion SMGs. Because of the reverse accuracy, you will probably have to fire half of your magazine to actually be able to hit something. That is not very useful to a lot of people. Also, dart sniper rifles usually have burst fire. Why do you want burst fire on a sniper rifle? On a sniper rifle, the motto is one shot, one kill. You do not need burst fire. If I do need high fire rate on a sniper rifle, but I still want to control on how many shots I've actually fired, I go Vladov. In fact, Elemental Vladov sniper rifles are my favorite sniper rifles. Also, another reason might be that the system in Borderlands 2 is more balanced. In Borderlands 1, some of the guns are extremely overpowered, has ridiculous damage per second potential, and some of the guns are bad, to say at least. In Borderlands 2, none of the guns feel extremely overpowered or extremely underpowered. So it is more balanced. And another major issue is the low drop chance of very high quality guns. For example, perfect purple guns or legendary guns. And here I want to quickly look at what legendary guns are in terms of game mechanics. Legendary guns are guns with a lot of predefined parts and an added special effect. As I've showed you previously, compared to purple guns with the same gun parts, they do not necessarily have much better stats on their weapon card. For example, the example that I gave you, the Volcano, actually has less damage than a purple or a blue Rarity gun with the same gun parts. Of course, the special effect makes up for it, the very large area of effect. Similar with Hellfire and even Vladov Shreddifier or the Hyperion SMG, the Bitch, they do not necessarily have much better stats on their weapon cards. And that means the special effect of the legendary guns makes or breaks them. A very famous example is the Flakka, probably the most hated legendary gun in the entire Borderlands 2. The Flakka is in fact a legendary Torque Ravager shotgun. The Torque Ravager shotgun is the most powerful non-legendary shotgun, and in fact those are my favorite shotguns. But because of the special effect of the Flakka, the use of the Flakka is extremely limited. On the other side of the spectrum, you have Unkempt Herald, the best legendary pistol in game, and some might even argue that Unkempt Herald is the best legendary weapon overall in the entire Borderlands 2. And that's also because of the special effect of Unkempt Herald. One bullet splits into 7 bullets. that deals exactly the same damage. That means the gun will deal 7 times more damage. That is a lot. And interestingly, both guns are manufactured by Torque. So what's up with those guns, Mr. Torque? Now, anyway, why do people want those guns? Firstly, because of the guaranteed quality due to very limited changeable parts. And sometimes people want those for the special effect of the legendary gun. For example, the Affinity, which consumes 0 ammo. Also, you get a prestige feeling about this. One might even get attached to their own legendary guns, because before the recent patch, if you reach level 50 and you get a level 50 legendary gun, you will keep that gun for a very long time, because level 50 is the level cap and you cannot level up further. That means you pretty much always use the legendary gun if you like it. Another very important point that some people might overlook is it is equally difficult to find perfect purple guns. The chance that you can actually find a purple Rarity gun that I've showed you in-game is very, very low, similar to the chance of finding a legendary weapon. So in my opinion, those 4 might be the major points on why people don't like the new system. The exponential scaling, the less perceived variety in power, and the low drop chance. So what can we do to actually improve the system? Now I have some initial ideas. Before I tell you them, please note, however, those are just initial ideas. Those are not meant to be suggestions or even requests. Only initial ideas that must be further discussed. One idea would be to give the player limited options to change some parts of their gun and grenade mods. Now obviously this is a very big change, so what should you be able to change and what not? You should not be able to change the level, the rarity and the type, and also the barrel of the gun. Pretty much the most important parts of the gun, you shouldn't be able to change that. Level and type, so that Borderlands 3 still stays a game about loot and shoot. You cannot simply freely change the gun however you want. You also cannot level up the gun. If you were able to do that, and if you get lucky, for example at level 15 you find a legendary gun, that's pretty much game over if you can level up that gun. You do not need to find any other guns, that one legendary gun would be enough. So what should you be able to change? For example, the sight. If you change the sight, what actually changes? It is a cosmetic change. It looks differently. It is also a change in usability. Some players like one sight more than another, and some players do not even want to have a sight on a certain gun type. But it does not change the gun itself at all. It does not do more damage, and it does not shoot faster. Also, the stock of the gun. It is also mainly a cosmetic change, and it also changes the recoil reduction of the gun, also a usability change. But still, if you change the stock, the gun does not do more damage. And one thing I added is the accessory. Now why do I want people to be able to change the accessory? Because it gives you a false sense of customization and control. The name of the gun actually depends on the accessory. If you were able to change the accessory, you were able to change the name of the gun. That's a lot of customization option. But actually, if you change the accessory, what changes? For example, if you add a damage accessory to a sniper rifle, it deals 10% more damage per shot, but has more recoil. That's it, nothing else. You did not fundamentally change your gun, but still, since the name of the gun depends on the accessory, you have also changed the name of the gun. That gives the player a feeling of a lot of options to customize their gun, where in fact they didn't change a lot about their gun. The same with grenade mods. For the same reason, you shouldn't be able to change the level, the rarity and the type of the grenade mod. But I think you should be able to change the delivery method of a grenade mod for a certain amount of money, or you can even use the new Iridium for the currency. Now, here's the same story with the delivery method. It does not change the stats of the grenade mod itself by much. but it gives the player more usability and also a false sense of customization. The name of the grenade mod depends on the delivery method. So whether it's a homing Tesla or longbow Tesla, if you are able to change the delivery method, you are able to change the name of the grenade mod. It gives the player a sense of customization option. It also gives the player better usability because, for example, I personally prefer longbow grenade mods over anything else. Some other players might prefer homing grenade mods over anything else. So that would give player a better usability. You might think that a false sense is bad, but in my opinion it is actually not. You give the player customization options to change the cosmetics of a gun and also to improve the usability while still stay true to the loot and shoot theme of the game. So it's a win for the player and in my opinion absolutely no loss for the game. The core of the game still stays the same, but with the addition of the customization option where you can change parts of guns and grenade mods, you give players a much better feeling. Now, as I said, this is a very drastic change, so it must be further discussed. This is just an initial idea. If you have any suggestions or improvements, please feel free to leave it in the comments. Also, more ideas would be more manufacturers per gun type. A Torque sniper rifle would be so awesome, but we cannot get that in Borderlands 2. Also, less niche special effects, like the Hyperion reverse accuracy. For those of you who plays the Necromancer, you probably know that the Hyperion reverse accuracy works extremely well with the Anarchy skill, in fact the entire skill tree. The Anarchy skill reduces the accuracy for more damage, but the Hyperion reverse accuracy largely negates the accuracy reduction of Anarchy skill, so it is very useful on Necromancers. But unfortunately for many other peoples, Hyperion SMG and pistols are not as good as the same type of guns from other manufacturers. So less niche special effects might help too. I personally do not think that the change from a linear to an exponential scaling is the problem, but if people are not satisfied with the scaling, you might want to fine-tune the scaling. But as I said, in my opinion, the exponential scaling itself is not really a problem. I think it is good that it encourages more loot and shoot than just keep your gun for, let's say, 6 or 8 levels. And I think the most important point here is rebalance the drop rates and the scaling with gun parts. Now why that? If the manufacturer of the barrel fits the manufacturer of the gun gets bonus damage. If the manufacturer of the gun grip matches the manufacturer of the gun gets bonus magazine size and reduced reload speed. That means if you get extremely lucky and find a gun with matching gun barrel and gun grip, the gun will be extremely powerful, as I've showed you in the comparison before. The Mali 1 sniper rifle with fitting barrel and grip is much more powerful than a Mali 1 sniper rifle with dull barrel and grip. So this manufacturer match bonus kinda encourages the lucky find aspect of the game. But unfortunately, the exponential scaling somehow works against the lucky find aspect of the game. So, in my opinion, you should make each gun part more powerful and get rid of the manufacturer match bonus, so that different guns with different gun parts are equally powerful, but in different ways. So, those are my initial ideas on how to change the system for the better. Of course, those are just initial ideas. It needs discussion about whether the idea was good or bad. If you have your own ideas, any suggestions, any additions, or any critics, please feel free to post it in the comments below. Only if we discuss the negative points of Borderlands 2's system can Borderlands 3 improve compared to Borderlands 2. So, this has been a rather very long episode of CharreBrain's Weekly Thoughts. If you like those kind of videos where I pick a topic and talk about it, please subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for future videos. In the next episode, I want to go slightly away from video games and take a look at the current lineup of compact super zoom cameras. But to come back to video games, in the episode after the episode about the camera, I will take a look at Dota 2, the game and its community. So stay tuned, and until then, goodbye and take care.